everyone, I am Charming Reponte,
And I'm Steven Densey Garnica.
and we will be reporting the trip distribution. So what is trip distribution? Trip distribution is a key concept in transportation engineering and urban planning that focuses on understanding and predicting the patterns of movements or trips between different origin and destinations within a geographical area, typically a city or a region. So trip distribution is a crucial concept sa transportation engineering. They aims to understand and analyze the future movements pattern sa isa ka city or isa ka place so that they can create and design a transportation structures that distribute trips that will minimize traffic congestion and save travel time. So mo na siya ang trip distribution. It is one of the stages of transportation planning model, and the main goal of trip distribution is to estimate the number of trips that will occur between various origin or destination pairs within a given area. So trip distribution kay the second stage of transportation planning nga ang main goal ani is to estimate the number, just like what I've said earlier nga they estimate the number of trips nga future number of trips so that they can create a plan or they can create a transportation structures nga will suffice the need of the number of trips nga na ilang nakuha sa trip distribution. So trip distribution is influenced by various factors including land use, socioeconomic factors, accessibility, and travel behavior. So the land use, the distribution of different land uses such as residential, commercial, industrial, and recreational areas significantly influences trip distribution. So, di ba, kung ang isa ka place, kung residential ba siya, commercial, or industrial, is iba-iba manggid ni sila kung sa kabugat sa trip nga mahitabo dito siya. Kung halimbawa, kung nakaka sa public place such as mga mall or mga recreational areas, mas daghan kita ang ka-add to the rim. So, mas dako ang demand sa trip distribution, mas daghan ang trips or movement ang nahitabo. Second is the socioeconomic factors. Areas with higher population and employment densities tend to generate and attract more trips. Dari na po, dari is nakano siya sa iyang population. So kung isa ka place is daghan ng population, mas daghan pud ang movements dere. So kung mas daghan ang movements, mas daghan ang trips ang mahitabo. Third is the accessibility. Dari na po the availability and quality of transportation infrastructure often leads to increased travel. So kung sa isa ka place kung wapo ang quality or availability sa transportation, so mas dako ang demands mas daghan ang demand sa movement kay dugod daghan magtao nga ginapili ang accessible nga mga mode of transportation. Fourth is the travel behavior. People make choices based on convenience and personal preferences. Individual travel preferences such as mode of transportation, for example, car, bus, bike, and walking. So the fourth thing nga maka-influence sa trip distribution is the travel behavior. Mao na siya ang mga choices sa mga tao kung sa mode of transportation ilang gamiton to make a movements or trips. So mo na siya ang mga factors that will potentially influence trip distribution. So transportation planning models, it was composed of 4 steps. First is trip generation, second trip distribution, third is the model split rather, and the fourth is the traffic assignment. So trip generation is the process of estimating how many trips people will take from various places like homes or businesses. It helps urban planners understand travel demand and design transportation systems accordingly. So sa trip generation is gina-estimate nila ang mga trips nga kung kanang potentially nga mahitabo sa isa ka place so that they can plan or create kung saan travel demand nga kinahanglan sa isa ka place or sa ka lugar. So trip distribution, just like what I've said, gi-explain na ako ganina mao na siya. So second step. Sa third step is the model split. After determining where the trips are going, the next step is to decide how these trips will be made. It can be made by car, bus, train, walking, or other modes of transportation. And this is known as mode choice modeling. There is a mode choice modeling or model split nga nakabalo naman ka nakabalo na ka kung na-estimate na nimo ang future demand sa travel. So diri na kung pili na ka kung unsay best ato nga mode of transportation. For example, kung car, bus, train or walking, and dira na nimo i-provide kung asa mas appropriate na structures. Next is the traffic assignment. The final step involves assigning specific routes to the trips. This helps considers the road network and traffic condition and aims to find the best spots for each trip. So the traffic assignment is dara na ta mag-assign og mga routes or mga ruta nga pwede nimo agian for a specific destination nga imong adtuan or movement. So that's the 4 steps of transportation planning models. We have different types of trip distribution methods. So to acquire the trip distribution data, we have 2 categories, which are the present pattern methods and model method. So the present pattern methods natay uniform factor method, average factor method, Detroit method, and Pratar method. While sa model methods natay basic type of gravity method, Bureau of Public Roads type gravity method, and Voorhees type gravity method. So sila tanan nga method para tanan sila gaing kuha og trip distribution but iba-iba ilahang approach. So nakoy Venn diagram dere that differentiates and agahatag ko unsang similarities sa present pattern methods og model methods. So the similarities between the two is they estimate and predict trip distribution since same lang man na sila o ginakuha but different approach again. But sa present pattern method, more on data-driven approach ni, while sa model methods, more on mathematical model. Model sa present method, simplicity, limited predictive capability, resource efficiency, suitable for short-term planning. While sa model methods, it can be data intensive, increased predictive capability, complexity, and long-term planning. So again, same lang ni sila o same lang ni sila nga ga-estimate og predict og trip distribution but iba-iba ilang approach o gamit. So next.
So this is one of the methods that we use in trip distribution. So uniform factor method. This method assumes that trips are distributed uniformly or evenly across all possible regions and destination based on factors like land, area, population, or employment. So ginapasabot diri is gina-expand niya ang mga trips kung asa gina-expand niya nga evenly, which means distribute niya pantay-pantay ang mga trips, which is para paspas lang siya ma-assess sa mga tao sa mga lugar nga occupied na or dili pa occupied. So mo ni ang mga formula. So makita niyo diri where T is total trip distribution, TIJ trip distribution from zone I to zone J. So mo na siya. Next. So next is average factor method. This method, like the uniform factor method, assumes the trips are distributed uniformly, pero it introduces an average factor to adjust for variations in attractiveness or importance among different zone or areas. So mo lang to, may gamay lang adjustment. So mo na iyang formula. So where O, trip generation, and D is trip attraction. So ano siya? Next is Detroit method. This method is often used when detailed data and advanced modeling tools are not available or practical for specific planning study. The principle behind this method is that trip distribution is proportional to growth rate of trip generation. So if ang growth rate sa trip generation is taas, so ingato pod sa trip distribution. So mo na iyang formula, which is si ma'am na mag-explain na later on. So next. Pratar method, the most commonly used present pattern method. The Pratar method aims to provide a more accurate representation of trip distribution patterns by considering the interaction between zones within a study area. So, ang Pratar method is modo ni pinaka-common nga ginagamit sa pag-solve sa trip distribution, which is the interaction between zones ug ang mga area nga which is na-studyhan na. So, next. Basic type of gravity method. It is named after its similarity to Newton's law of universal gravitation, which describes the attraction between objects with mass. The gravity method assumes that the number of trips between two locations is directly proportional to the mass or attractiveness of those locations and inversely proportional to the distance between them. So, ang basic type of gravity method is kuan siya ga-reflect ni siya sa sa time, which is dili siya operational sa karon kay ang ginagamit gid nato is ang GFM or growth factor method. So mao na iyang formula which is nakabutang diri where T is strip distribution, K alpha beta gamma is the coefficients, O is strip generation, D strip attraction, D na small is strip resistance between zone I and zone J. So, tapos ang other forms of resistance functions are kana. So, L over beta plus D, chu chu chu. So, that's it. Next is Bureau of Public Roads Gravity Model. The Bureau of Public Roads or BPRS gravity model is a specific variation of the gravity model used in transportation planning and urban geography. It was developed by the United States Bureau of Public Roads in the mid-20th century. So, mao na iyang given nga formula. So part gyapon siya sa gravity model. This type gravity model is it aims to provide the more accurate representation of trip distribution patterns by incorporating additional parameters and considerations. So, nasa sila kapareho sa sa Fratar method which is pareho sila accurate kung gamiton siya sa pag-solve. Pero katong Fratar method is mo tong pinaka-present na ginagamit sa karon. So, mao na siya tanan ng mga model methods na to. Trip distribution results. So, doon na to makita ang results sa atong trip distribution which is gitakil na to bago lang. So, number 1 is transportation network design. Number 2, traffic engineering. Number 3, land use and zoning. Number 4, public transit planning. Number 5, environmental impact assessment. Number 6, transportation equity, policy development, economic development, safety planning, long-term planning. So, that's it.
So, the last subtopic naman is dari makita ang result sa trip distribution magamit ni siya sa sa mga list nga naa diri. So, that's the end of our report. Kung naway pangutana, try to approach us so we can try to answer them. Thank you for watching.